quick response for the Maga NoRunes, and now the Rubik as well. So that is pretty much going to lock the Tusk in as a core hero here, and I guess it will be Mr. Jeans playing it, because don't think the Magnus can really move all that much, and the mid Rubiks we've seen in this event, TT, the one or two that have been attempted, were not good.
Yeah, no, not pretty, but classic counter versus Jakiro. You steal Ice Path, you break the game wide open, but also a lane that doesn't have to right-click trade with the Lina necessarily. You both have zaps, you both have nukes that you're going to be able to sit back. You can kind of cheese the lane in that regard. You're not going to get too many creeps denied. And this is the pick that I was almost certain Thunder Awaken were going to go for. Illich Snapfire paired with the Tiny, what they've done the entire tournament. Maybe waiting to see if there was something that was going to make those kisses a little bit more difficult, but it doesn't come to fruition, even though, and again, the Rubik game gets even better after that Snapfire pick.
It's true. You've got a hell of a lot of good options to steal away here, so somebody's happy on the side of NoRunes, taking a look at what their opponents are picking up, but now we get to the end here, and now we get a chance to pick the brains of the NoRunes players here, because they were a little bit hesitant before, maybe hedging their bets a little bit with that Monkey King ban. Now you genuinely have to answer the question. Do you think this is going to just be the Smiling Knight Lina, or is there a chance that they try to move it? Because that's going to determine how these final two bans look.
Yeah, no, and of course, after the Rubik picked up, Thunder Awaken are also aware that it's Tusk mid, so do they think the Lina versus Tusk is an advantage they can play against? Would they like to go for something maybe a little bit more direct? I feel like this is where NoRunes could ban out heroes like the Pango, like the Void Spirit, honestly, anything that's going to be annoying in the mid lane. Maybe even the Quap, or I was going to say Batrider, but Batrider's already banned out, as it should be. But it's difficult to say, because Thunder Awaken have a much easier time. They probably look at the short list of really good carries and they say, well, do we ban out Nature's Prophet? Yeah, we could probably ban out Nature's Prophet. Do we ban out a hero like Ursa? Maybe. Ursa's like a little bit less so of one of those high value picks. The big one is probably going to be Terrorblade, which we almost certainly should see banned out. That's probably the one hero in the game that has, it's a very close matchup, but one of the matchups that can flip on its head. And okay, Baseless Void. Same exact reasons. Just anything that's going to get on top of Lina is kind of the mentality here, because she's going to kill you from afar. She's not going to let you close the gap. She's going to be that difficult hero to control. And I think that's where NoRunes, they would love something to pile on top of that burst. A Pure that gets naturally empowered would also be great. It's a game where if PA was a hero, it would be such a good PA game, but PA is just not a great pick at all anymore, which is a tragedy. Because that's what would kill Lina in this situation, but the numbers just simply aren't there for her.
Yeah, it doesn't really get picked up much anymore, and as you said, for pretty good reason. So, we'll see what the choice is for NoRunes. It's not a hero Mini picks up a whole lot anymore, but part of me is even thinking maybe if they want to be super safe on the carry pick, something like a Lifestealer could even come into play. In terms of closing the gap, then you're entirely dependent on basically an Infest Bomb, but maybe that's the play, maybe that's the hero that gets the Empower on him, but not a hero that I think Thunder Awaken will be so worried about that they'd spend their ban on it here.
Yeah, and the difficult part of this game is, and maybe it is just like a troll. Let's see.
Ooh.
Okay. Mini Morphling. Out of their few wins that NoRunes have been able to scrape together, a lot of them have been with the Morphling, so you know, maybe just trying to go for what works. They do separate their draft with this pick in pretty much entirely. The Mag has to RP the BKB target. The Tusk is going to do his own thing. Morphling is just going to try to do as much damage as possible in that window, but it's all going to be kind of hamstrung together. This is where there's not that much cohesion. Sure, you're an empowered Morphling. You don't get the cleave, but you still get a lot of base damage. Solid pick, but still very scary game to play against, especially because usually when Mini plays the Morphling, he doesn't get too much farm, and they just pick Ricky. Okay, offlane Ricky. Wawatroni takes the Snapfire mid. Okay, they shift things around, but this is what they could always do. It's why heroes like the Tiny and the Snapfire are so valued in Captain's mode, because you can do this, especially with last pick. Everybody just moves.
Well, it's a little unexpected in terms of the choice, but hey. Oh, why not? And if you're Thunder Awaken, having the Ricky now gives you that little bit more to work with in terms of the lockdown. We'll see about damage output. You would presume that a core Ricky could afford to maybe get a little bit more damage out than a support one, but the direct itemization will be very interesting to see. My concern, though, with Thunder Awaken now is that this lineup ET has little to no frontline and not a whole lot of durability.
Well, and that's where in a hero like, let's say, the Nature's Prophet would make the game a little bit easier to play, because Morphling's great. He's going to do a lot of damage. He gets an Aegis, he's going to be happy. But NoRunes are going to have to work for those objectives. They're going to have to work for opening up the map. Sure, they're kind of cemented in their lanes for a while. It's where Mr. Jeans is going to be the first hero to move, probably for them. But Aiko's anchored. He's not going to leave his lane until he gets a Blink Dagger, and we'll see how fast that Blink Dagger is. But those first few plays are either going to make this game look really manageable for NoRunes, or it's going to be a complete collapse where Thunder Awaken are just going to start kind of walking all over you, especially if there's going to be a Snapfire getting kisses early, going to be walking around causing chaos. It's where Mr. Jeans almost has to mirror Lalatroni to make sure they've got a stun, to make sure those kisses aren't super easy. It's where I think you got to be so careful here for the fights that NoRunes actually chooses to take. Where Thunder Awaken, we're the team with an offlane Ricky. They're the team with Lina. They're gonna go late. They're gonna want to farm for that 25-30 minute timing, and they're a team that does do those aspects just easier. They get the buildings faster. They get the Roche whenever the Lina has enough damage. Their lineup just seems to make a little bit more sense, just because the heroes are a little bit stronger, just relatively.
Oh, we are getting this one underway. Dual smokes coming out. We'll see if they cross paths or if this is just an early play for Vision. As we were saying at the start of the draft, similar scenario to what we saw the last time around. Thunder Awaken are trying to punch their ticket to the playoffs. NoRunes trying to keep their hope of the playoffs alive in general. Do want to also point out one thing, maybe not super relevant to the game directly, but for Thunder Awaken in general. Did announce yesterday, I believe, that they had officially parted ways with Alone, their usual mid laner who obviously was not playing in this event. So now you start to look at Lalatroni. Maybe this is a little different for him. Maybe this isn't just a stand-in scenario. Might actually be a tryout. I think they'd have to buy him out from his current team, ET, but you know, with the way that he's been playing, maybe you start putting your resume in there for a full-time position.
Yeah. And this is that kind of debut that you want, and this is also an opportunity that's kind of once in a lifetime. You just get to skip to an org that has a house that is a little bit more structured, that has all these players just so close to each other already. It's kind of a dream situation for any budding mid laner. So an opportunity that Lalatroni is certainly going to, if he can affect it, try not to miss out on.
And this is a game that can really sort of add to what you bring to the table. If you've got the flexibility to make a mid Snapfire work, you're going to start turning some heads. So we shall see. It's, well, it's a rare choice for teams to make. Of course, Snapfire is not that rare in the off lane, but mid, bit of an interesting move. Then again, you are laning against a Tusk here, so if Mr. Jeans tries to push his way forward, Lalatroni does have the means to maybe keep him at arm's length.
Yeah, and we will see what Lalatroni decides to go for. Of course, mid Snapfire made a little bit more sense in the previous patch, where the Shard affected Scatterblast and made that spell do more damage. New Shard, still quite good, but it's definitely more of a support-oriented, more utility-based item. So really, that kind of opens up what you would decide to spend your gold on, whether it's an Ags Rush, or whether or not you want to turn it to the right-click Snapfire early on. Really, you can take this in a few different options.
Be interesting to see. For now, though, not the most interesting, just trading damage and last hits. Over in the bottom lane, though, some creep shenanigans coming into play. Mini just trying to farm up under his tower while Illich harasses him, while their supports are kind of sort of competing on the pull here. It's not the most graceful, but
it's a fight. Of course, you know, with the tree, you actually are pretty much neck and neck damage-wise. Because tree eventually does beat you out once those charges are gone, but, you know, could be worse. And I think any last hit that Michael's actually able to get there, it feels pretty illegal. But at the end of the day, the creep wave still pushes in. He wasn't able to connect with the Morphling because the rookie was being annoying. Just blink striking him under tower. So results in that free XP that we always talk about.
And like I said, it's not graceful, but it gets the job done. That's all they really care about. But Mini, well, Mini's probably going to have a fair bit of fun in this lane. Morphling with very little pressure applied to him is very dangerous. But I say very little pressure applied to him. That could change once the levels get up. You know, Avatos with a smoke screen could maybe catch him off guard, but you're still always at the mercy of, do you get in before the attribute shift starts? Because if you don't, the kill is pretty damn hard.
Yeah, and Mini's doing his thing. He's got his bracer. Still the only Morphling I've seen that decides to go for this item build, but just likes the little bit of health regen and gives him in the lane super early on, as opposed to a ring of health rush. But it just has worked for him. But like we kind of said in draft, Mini likes to be bullied. He doesn't like to be the one who gets all of the farm. He likes to take a lot of the aggression from his teams. And we'll have to see, because if he's going to get run at, it's kind of what he likes. But he does need to find those items sometime in this game. And I do wonder how the rookie's going to force him to play differently, because there is that threat of the Invis hero prowling on you. He gets the silence off, and then you're kind of just dead at that point.
Perfect hero to punish the max agi plays, but that is always the thing. It's worked out well enough for Mini when he's done it that we almost take it for granted, but... Oh, hold on. Naugus in some trouble. Or maybe not. The Leech Seed's healing him up, the Tango doing some work, and with Mini coming over... Village doesn't want to force the full fight, but we've seen other players, maybe not in the Morphling, but in similar situations, try to play along similar lines, thinking, if I get bullied, that's okay, because my teammates get the farm early, and then I catch back up. Sometimes you don't get the chance to catch back up, and then you look a little foolish, but very rarely has Mini been punished like that.
Yeah, no, he always seems to find time. He always occupies the more awkward lane to play in as well, even though this, well, there's your play, got him before the attribute, and yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of time. Nuages as well tried him for the Leech Seed, but it's just a little bit too late. And some great trades in Illich. He's got stick charges, and yeah, it's a bait. It's all a bait, but Nuages also has stick charges, so this kill can take a little bit too long, and Illich will go down, but XP that the Morphling is not getting at all. Also a kill that Michael, I don't think, is getting. Doesn't have a mango, doesn't have enough damage.
And August was holding on to one last Fairy Fire there just in case, so... Well, who's baiting whom, I guess was the real question there, but... Realistically, they got the kill in the Morphling first, so everything that happens afterwards is just kind of...
Look mid.
Whatever, as, yeah, middle lane, they're trying for Lalatroni. He just barely gets that. I think that snowball allows him to completely dodge out what could have been a cookie stun there, so... Yeah, the tips come in after the fact. Mr. Jeans survives by the skin of his teeth, ET, but he wins the fight.
Yeah, and that's also some living armor diff for you right there. 6 armor on the cast. Ridiculous spell. Michael, it's your birthday today. He's coming in. He's looking for Mr. Jeans, but he is not as fast as Mr. Jeans.
There will be no cake and no ice cream.
Look at this. This is... It's annoying for Mr. Jeans, and actually... Okay, finally caught wind of him, but... Well, the Tusk is spending a whole lot of time out of the lane, but look at where Michael is. He's right here to kill Jupiter.
Oh, now all of a sudden... Yeah, hold on. Mr. Jeans is going to turn around. What in the world was that? Okay. Michael, I mean, that play works up until the very end, where Mr. Jeans kind of just gets a kill anyway, but... You understand... Ooh, the thought process there is... Jupiter... Fairy Fires, Living Armor. That's going to, unfortunately, make the deny attempt kind of awkward, but he does still get it, and... That's one of the more awkward exchanges over the last couple of minutes. Michael goes all the way across the map, sets up for an opposing team's kill, and then a deny, and now his mid lane is in trouble. Lalatroni's going to get hit up. The shards come in. Defensive Avalanche, though, is going to create some separation, but will it be enough? Lalatroni's still in trouble. Mr. Jeans doesn't have any spells left, though. And everybody's going to walk away.
Yeah, unfortunate. Lalatroni would love to just cast his kisses, but he knows it's not going to work, especially with the Tusk. If he can't close the gap onto the Snapfire himself, then he just snowballs the creep wave and sits there with his teammates, so there's real no easy way for those kisses to work out, even though he's gunning for that type of play. it's just not going to work. And of course, 2 supports rotating in mid. Mr. Jeans gets a double bottle refill. He's chilling.
Everything just kind of resets a little bit after whatever craziness that Michael kind of instigated there, but all right. Settle down a little bit. Supports are still hanging out in the area, though, so this has not entirely faded away. See Jupiter looking to see if he needs to deny his ward. Excel shouldn't see it. Doesn't really have any detection or anything like that, so all just gonna walk away. But with all the emphasis now in the middle lane that came about over that last minute or two, side lanes are looking really good. All right, the Morphling is farming, checking in on Smiling Knight. Top net worth by, for this point in the game, a decent margin, right? 300 gold ahead of the Tusk, so pressure's been really taken away. But that just means, well, there's still going to be that emphasis mid. Mr. Genius just tries to come over and take a camp, and Excel is inexplicably there to stop him.
Yeah, just good rotations, pretty simple stuff. A race for the Arcane Rune. And look at that. Will Walatroni die for this transgression, though? That's the question here. He's still got the punch, still got the snowball. Let's see. He's coming in, dodge the Ava. Beautiful from Mr. Jeans.
Nicely done, and now Michael's left holding the bag. Not a whole lot to be done here. At least he's going to walk away. August can't catch him, but what's this? Heiko? Well, he wants to be involved in the action. Shockwave pulls him back. Skewer is going to really force the Jakiro into the middle of 4, and we're able to find another kill, so 2 picks there. Don't think there's any play onto the Tiny here. Michael should just walk away, but, well, NoRunes are getting the vast majority of the gains from these early fights. 5-1 kill count.
No, they're pretty darn happy with the way things are going. Of course, you are leaving the Lina alone, which is very scary, but you're also putting the Morphling on the Riki in a 1v1, one that the Morphling just wins. As long as Mini has mana, he can very efficiently trade out onto Illich, is where the sick charges really don't help you against the adaptive strike spam. And he's even just decided to max out the waveform, which is the farming build, so he's just going to be able to rotate into the jungle very easily. It's really a lot of give and take here, and give that NoRunes are playing with. It's why they've been able to rotate their support so many different times. You know, I think that little play onto the Tiny will peter out. No real pressure given over, and no kisses yet. Olatroni's still struggling to make any play happen with the Snapfire, kind of because it is a very difficult Snapfire game. It's hard to gank both of the side lanes, and in the mid lane, Tusk is the answer to his hero. So Olatroni ends up just kind of being forced into a situation where he's farming when he really wants to be killing.
Oh, they're trying to make a play onto Smiling Knight now, but Excel was able to delay it slightly. Will that delay be enough, though? Snowball into punch, into Shockwave. Gets the job done, and Lalatroni, okay. He TP's in, he goes for the kisses, he knows there's no snowball here. And okay, sure, they lose their Lina. That is unfortunate, but that is what the Snapfire desperately needed at this point in the game, so well, to a certain extent, you're going to be okay with that trade-off.
Yeah, still sucks, but it could be worse. It could be a lot worse. And Knight is going to be able to go into the jungle pretty much. Could be now, could be in 1 or 2 more levels, but he's absolutely fine. Even though there's a little bit of a stack double creep wolf large camp play here, and yeah, Heiko, nobody left, and there's the LSA, and that's a beautiful kill.
Man, Heiko did not really think 3 heroes were still gonna be there after the initial play onto Smiling Knight like a minute and a half ago now, but just gets a little greedy. As you said, he wanted the stack, and it was a lot of gold, but just way too much lockdown for him. And maybe in the future, you know, get that mech, get those Greaves, that becomes a little bit more survivable, but for right now, no.
Yeah, and he has decided to slow up his game. He would be maybe 500 gold away from a Blink Dagger right now if he didn't go for the mech buildup, but he is valuing his team's ability to barrel down some of these buildings together. He's just kind of all-inning on their team fight power as opposed to getting a Blink Dagger and rotating out of the lane, because Tycho's going to have to be in his lane now for a good 3-4 extra minutes because he's decided to go for both of these items instead of the rush.
And in fairness, in the draft, you did say, you know, Heiko's not leaving his lane until he finds a Blink, but That was also said with the understanding that the Blake was coming out as really the first item, but the principle will still apply. Farming up. In the meantime, though, Thunder Awaken, if they realize Heiko's going to be tethered to the lane for longer, you remove the threat of the RP from the other 2/3 of the map? The question is, do they know he's going to stick it out, or do they suspect that maybe he's already on the move? And if that's the case, maybe they don't get as aggressive as they could be.
Oh, and Maelstrom's online. Lena's farming it up, and Mr. Jean just shows top, so they are going to try and subsidize these towers a little bit. Mid lane's also getting hit up really hard, and Minnie's going to try to hold it, and yeah, well, Trony pumps it for a second, but there's a lot of damage happening to these tier 1 towers right now, as Jupiter with a level 4 Scatterblast stolen is being a menace in the bottom lane, even though they're trying to put their finger on him.
Michael's going to spot him. There's the Ava. Can you get close enough for the toss? No.
Ooh.
Oh, man. Oh, hold up.
No way.
Okay, he's not going to get it at this point, but it got close, and... Are they going to kill him? No Ava for 4. Jupiter's dancing. He gets the lift, but that gets the vision. Illich comes in, and they narrowly avoid what would have been a very, very embarrassing death on the Riki.
Oh, that was almost sick. Almost really sick, but it's okay. Still, they got what they wanted. They killed the Rubik that is holding the lane, so they get to remove him away. And actually, Illich just decided to go for a straight defusal, which is different, but same power spike that old Rickies would and definitely build themselves up to. Just gives you kill potential across the map, and you still have time for your shard. We're a minute away. It won't come out at 15 exactly, but definitely makes you a larger threat on the map as a whole. Definitely for the Tusk and the Magnus specifically. Both these heroes don't have a great answer to the Riki Cloud. It's where his teammates need to be building up 4 staffs already. While mid, okay. He's got the Scatterblast back again. There you go. Jupiter's back to full power.
Oh, hold on a second. Here comes the rotation in. Illich and Michael want the fight, and they've caught Mini. Can they bring him down, though? Oh, boy. Now it's starting to turn. Mini still standing, dishing out the damage, able to take down Michael. LSA kind of misses, but the kisses are still directly on top of Mr. Jeans and the Tusk. You don't get to play the way you normally would, right? If you're not saving a spell for defensive purposes, those kisses are going to do you in, as Illich is getting real damn aggressive directly onto 2, and they're able to lock down 1. Nuagas does go down, but the tower falling is honestly almost more important there. Thunder Awaken really swing a lot of net worth into their hands off the back of those plays.
Yeah, in a situation where the Blink would have been a much more critical item pickup, because they just get to walk and do it. The mech didn't really do him any good there, but it also comes from Illich just being annoying, being in the right spot, scouting out the heroes, just didn't have enough sentries placed around the tower. They had one in the river, but because they lose track of him, then they lose their treant for free. Even though New Aegis was ready to battle to the bitter end there. He wanted to overgrowth that, but just isn't able to. And then, with the tower taken, Knight retreats back into the jungle. The Lina continues to farm at a blistering speed. 2,000 gold ahead of the Morphling. Not really answering what the Lina's doing is a very troublesome sign for NoRunes.
Looking pretty good for the Lina. Meanwhile, what's going on here? Michael? He's looking. The problem is he's going to find some heroes more than he thought, as Illich going to get caught by the Overgrowth. But, yeah, the follow-up's a little bit delayed. Able to get the Blink Strike off to his teammate, and... well, that's Overgrowth down. Now you're in a bit of an awkward spot if you're NoRunes. They haven't left yet, and that might be exactly what Thunder Awaken want. Bringing multiple heroes over. It's still kind of rough with the Tier 1 tower being alive, but honestly, they could just kind of overload this and go for the kill anyway if they want to, but all of that effort for Nuagas is questionable.
Yeah, they don't want to go too deep. They know that the punish can be there, especially from the Tusk, but they've also amassed BKBs. Snapfire has his already. He's got a DD run, and here we go. Team fight. Nuagas toss back.
And again, they know he doesn't have Overgrowth. They're going to deploy the kisses, though, and it is doing some nice damage, but the RP whiffs entirely. That is awkward. Illich is able to get away with the tricks of the trade. They are still chasing after him, but at this point, they've gone too far. Smiling Knight joins the fight. There's going to be the Laguna onto Heiko. Mr. Jeans falls in the tree line, and Mini says, get me the hell out of here, but he has no TP.
No, and they scan him, and they know he TP'd in. He was not here defending the tower. This is going to be a run for your life situation, and if Illich gets the silence, well, that's going to be it, and there you go.
Yep.
Silence lands. I mean, he's honestly probably happy that he dies instead of just being kept alive on the wrong side of the river, but that is just a horrific team fight. Just missed everything. RP doesn't land on the Ricky. If you didn't have overgrowth, they just forced it way too hard, and they get punished.
4 kills in total there for Thunder Awaken. 6k net worth lead. And the Lena train has no brakes. This is getting genuinely concerning. BKB finished. Going for the bots next. I mean, NoRunes, even with a Morphling, simply will not have the means to match this farming rate.
No. And Knight's gone the safe steps as well. He just rushes the BKB, doesn't get the boots of travel first, is now just looking for a Grove Bow. And then he is the strongest hero in the game. So really, there's no place but now for him. Of course, without a crit stick, and of course, once he gets the crit stick, he'll probably come to his team that it's time to push. But then we are going to see that pushing for the Roche, and that's kind of doomsday here. You need to get enough power, enough relative strength to be able to contest him. As Mr. Jeans in the river, gonna get stuck with Michael. Yeah.
Uh-oh. They're still just all in on Mr. Jeans, though, but they don't get the kill. Living armor making a difference, but... well, no, I guess there's your reward. You just saved your teammate's life, and you get to die for him now as well. So, the position 5 life in a nutshell. Jupiter goes down as well, but the Tusk at least gets to walk away.
Yep. Gets to escape, gets to look for this BKB. An item that Mr. Jeans has swapped, I had 2 or 3 times. It was a Deso, then it was a Blink Dagger, now it's a BKB. Probably has to be a BKB at this point, just because that's what Thunder Awaken have itemized for. But it's still coming at a much slower rate. Thunder Awaken just farm and use the map so much more efficiently than you. It's where we need one big team fight where Mini gets to kill a core and then gets to survive. And then we're back to business here for NoRunes. But until that happens, we're waiting. Ico, though, with the Blink Dagger, that could be our difference maker, but he needs to connect. Connect probably onto Knight, even though even Knight's a tough kill. And this is why Alina's kind of a stupid hero. With BKB, with the 15 talent, with any stats, 2.5k HP, it's ridiculous.
Dust onto Illich. They kind of stack up spells there a little bit, but... oh, no. Okay. Overgrowth is there to try and salvage this, but that's one more ult than you thought you would need, but they are going to be able to get a second kill here. Michael did not quite get away. Tried to run to the south, ended up running directly into another hero. So, at the end of the day, they do find 2 ET, but that's RP, that's Overgrowth both being committed. Not ideal, but you needed kills and they got them.
Yeah. Blink RP committed, you kill a core, Mini gets to be involved, XP spread, shared, that's fine. Would love for that to land on top of the Lena, but we're working on it. They'll look for a play maybe next time. That was also their free play, where Thunder Awaken don't really want to force Roche just because you RP to Ricky. So Thunder Awaken aren't going to be able to move in and immediately punish the fact that you are without your Magnus's big ultimate. Even though Thunder Awaken are angling like they want to make a smoke happen. It's exactly what they want to do, but start on Heiko. They would love him, and yep, with the ward placed, it's pretty darn easy. There's absolutely no way the Magnus survives this.
Tried with his mech there at the end, but that's wishful thinking. Not nearly enough healing, so... okay. Smoke in, find a kill. Question is, was that enough for Roche? Smiling Knight says yes. And boy, oh boy, do they get through this quickly.
Well, it's not bad, and a push in that they really wouldn't have wanted to go for if the Magnus was still alive, but all it takes is a one-man advantage, and Lena's got her first Aegis of the game, 21-minute Aegis as well, so that second Roche is still going to be in that Lena's window, so really feels like Knight still getting exactly what he wants, even though, I mean, he's got a chunk of change, he's got a chunk of gold during all this time, sadly not confident enough in himself to just go for the Manta style, which makes sense. All Manta would do would help him farm a little bit faster, but the BKB will be a much safer bet. The only bet, in fact, versus Ricky Cloud.
Yeah, just has to find some way to avoid that initial bit of lockdown onto him, so... BKB on its way for Mini. Very nearly done. Full BKB finished for the Tusk, though. So
Look at the reactions mid.
oh. They jumped away first, but now do they go back in? You see the stun. But Michael's been kind of caught out off to the side here. Mini decides that's an overextension. Let's pull it back. They're going to try and regroup on their high ground. They still have RP. They still have overgrowth. So if you're Thunder Awakened, you got to be careful. Smiling Knight's going to go first, though. And as much as they would love to collapse onto him, he's got the Aegis, so they really can't afford to. And now the fight comes out. Heiko gets his blink canceled. RP's absolutely nothing. And now, I don't know if you want this engagement anymore, but they don't have a choice. Nuagas is getting hit up. Force Staff is going to buy him a little bit of time, but he's still in some danger, or maybe not. Heiko comes in, goes for the Shockwave into the Skewer. But all of this is just defensive ET. They can't actually secure any kills, and
oh no.
They're going to lose a fourth hero here. There's the smokescreen, there's the dart, there's the LSA, and the right clicks get it done. I'm not sure what canceled his Blink Dagger there, ET, but that really just ruins everything NoRunes were trying, because they were all banking on having that big RP.
Yeah, I think, you know, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I think it was just a simple Maelstrom proc. It's just daytime, the lean is right-clicking. It could have been a slave that clips him as well, but it's just too close in the fight, and all the ultimates just come out a little bit too quickly from NoRunes. They don't get to pace out their engagement. The entire time, Mini's doing great damage on the sideline. He's sitting on max agi, just spamming people down with Adaptive Strike, and the chip is working, but he's just losing teammates too quickly. He doesn't have his BKB yet. Just felt like they could fight on the high ground there when clearly it still is too much at this point in the game. So it's a sad loss, and a loss so deep on the Radiant side that, well, they get Glyph out for free, they get half damage onto the tier 2 top, and they get to clear out these outer buildings now because, well, you used Glyph. It's not going to get refreshed until a tier 2 actually falls, so the Thunder Awaken have so many nice objectives, easy objectives that they can take. They want the free tier 2 top, they can go for that. They want the damage back on mid, they can go for that. There's really no flaw in their play right now.
And they are just burning through here. Living armor will be applied after the fact, but that's barely going to slow this down. Smiling Knight was able to throw a slave into the ancient camp there as well, so he doesn't lose his stacks. And what's going on here? Well, I guess not a place you want to be in. They've got the detection. They're going to be able to, there we go, finish him off. But the rest of the lineup kept on chasing to the south. And they're going to be able to, yeah, force the BKB out of Mr. Jeans. Jupiter... I don't know what that was about. I feel like he could have just kept running and probably would have been safe. Instead, he kind of doubles back and he gets caught. Heiko gets caught in the top lane. Smiling Knight is going to TP out before the snowball hits him, so Thunder Awaken get away with murder.
Yeah, really nice play. Didn't get to see it, but Knight just Shadow Blade onto Heiko. Just snuck up with the Silver Edge. Has so much damage now. It just works. And then is immediately back onto the next objective. Kill top tier 2. Mid is still a little bit difficult, especially because that's where the last big fight happened. So he just goes to the other tier 2 and is looking to get another glyph forced out of Radiant. Another glyph that they can't really afford to use either, because then high ground is going to be the big objective. There is only 45 seconds, though, on this Aegis, so there is an opportunity to maybe look for Knight, burst him as that Aegis is ticking down, or even after the fact. But until then, I really don't think NoRunes want too many more fights here, even though they do glyph, but now the stakes have just risen. If they lose this tier 2 tower, then they're probably going to lose a tier 3. It's where they have really kind of put their feet in the ground here. They need a win in this team fight.
Oh, Heiko just got forced to blink away from the towers, so the supports are alone here. Reinforcements are coming, but Michael moves in first. There's the toss into the Ava. They only see Jupiter, though. So Nuagas lives, and he's the one with the grow. Okay, well...
5 seconds.
Yeah, that was maybe not the smartest of TPs, but there's going to be the skewer into the RP. The timing is incredible. And Knight goes down. Illich is going to fall as well.
See, I'm trying to tip Heiko. That's why I'm pinging on the map, because that is just beautiful stuff. Just your supports are both dead. There's only one way you don't lose the game, or at least the tier 3 right in that moment, is if you blink RP, get the turn, don't have to lean a BKB. Mini gets 2 core kills, 2,000 gold to his name.
Balatroni.
Let's go.
Might be in some danger here. Mr. Jeans, though, didn't pop his BKB. maybe if he does, they can go for that kill. But hey, they're feeling confident. They just found huge picks. They're looking for a little bit more on whoever's sort of staying behind. But BIT, as you said, Heiko, to the second, had to have that perfect and, well, did it just right. Now all of a sudden, if you're NoRunes, you're still down 11k. That did not go away as a problem, but you can find these kills. These plays are possible. You have bought more time, so now Mini and Mr. Jeans will have more damage, more utility the next time around. And it also puts them in a position now where 2 minutes or so out from a potential Roche respawn, NoRunes might actually be able to fight for it.
Yeah, and of course, that's step one. Step two is Mini gets a Scotty. If Mini gets a Scotty, that's when this matchup becomes Morphling favored, where you get to start onto the Lina. The Lina, who still, granted, has a very long BKB, but will eventually be whittled down, where you can drag out the entire team fight from her. Even though Knight, look at him, looking for the toss back. Mini, he's already strength morphing, but...
Pops his BKB, but he needs to be able to get himself out of this fight because he's rapidly running out of HP. He does fall back, but that leaves Heiko stuck in the middle, so... You end up having to sacrifice a core hero, but at least it wasn't the morph. Scatterblast was stolen, for whatever that's worth. A little bit of extra damage. But speaking of damage, Thunder Awaken just collapse onto the tier 2. They take it down, but they won't challenge the high ground, which... On the one hand, I can sort of understand the hesitancy to do so, ET, but Heiko's dead, RP's not there. Maybe that was a moment for them to take a risk, but they decide it's not worth it.
They just want to set up for Roche. Plain and simple. They're going to bide their time. They know that the next Roche timing is coming up, something that they have to face check. And we'll see how Roche is kind to us in this series. The past Roche couldn't stay dead. He just wanted to be alive, so... A fast Roche will favor Thunder Awaken, falls right in line with Knight's Satanic timing, still a very difficult team fight from NoRunes. But if Roche decides to take his sweet time, 2-3 minutes on the timer, that's where we're looking at buybacks and Scotty, big items for NoRunes, an actual universe where they will defend and fight over the Roche. It will be a contest.
2 minutes.
And okay, yeah, that falls pretty in line. Still going to be kind of a pressing issue for Mini, whether or not he buys the Shard and the Scotty, or if he just goes for the Scotty, but something to work with. Dead time where Thunder Awaken are stronger than you, and they don't have an easy play to make.
So, I do want to point out, it got a little lost there in some of the bigger items, right? Satanic was just picked up by the Lina, but they shifted the Greaves responsibility over to Excel, but he's got him. I mean, he's got basically nothing else, but full Guardian Greaves built up on the Thunder Awaken side, and Excel... may not always be directly in the middle of the fight, but he's never going to be so far away that he doesn't grieve someone.
Nah, it works out. They try to kill Jupiter, though. The fight breaks out.
Illich is in some danger here, losing a lot of his health right away, but he's able to jump out. Mini, though, still chasing, but not able to finish the kill. Tricks the trade, buying some time. This is not looking good. Heiko, you don't want to RP here. He is going to hold it, but that's only because he gets taken down first, but, well... I was saying he doesn't want to use it. That was with the understanding that Mini was getting out of the fight, but since he doesn't, well, now it's rough. Now heroes are dead with no buyback, and... Oh, what is this? 1 lane of Rax? I think, honestly, 2? I'm not sure they can swing.
2.
Yeah, I'm not sure they can swing for Megas at this point, but... They're going to clean up mid pretty quickly. Here comes Noagus back in 3 seconds, but he's not going to do anything by himself. And they do decide to go bot.
Yeah, you get the level 20 on Lalatroni as well. The Litter Shredder attacks, and they just spend so much time killing Illich and Tossback. This is a dive, though, and a throw.
A little bit too far. Illich gets taken down. 40 seconds for Overgrowth, though, so they don't have that play to work with. But hey, they saved a lane of Rax because Thunder Awaken get a little greedy for a Jupiter kill that realistically wouldn't have changed much even if they gotten it.
Yeah, I think just getting maybe caught off guard by the cast range with the Rubik with the Psychic Headband, but also just the respawn of the Tusk. I mean, that felt like a free play for NoRunes. And the Light in the Dark, they're only 1 lane down. Roche responds. All they have to do is find an RP for Heiko. In that fight, unfortunately, they thought they could take it because they had a little bit of high ground vision, but their opponents just had more impactful high ground vision. They got the better ward. They had more vision. They spent so much time killing a Riki that just kind of danced around the entire fight, wasted most of Mini's BKB. Look at this. Toss back. A dead Nuages, but baited the fight, killed Michael. But Heiko...
I don't know what the plan was there, ET, but Heiko... I mean, he blinks. There's no denying that, but I'm not sure what they were hoping to accomplish there. And now Knight... Oh, my god. Just wins a 1v3, no big deal. Mini has to TP home, but he won't make it, and now...
And that might be the game.
Yeah, that's it. GG called, and I don't want to be too mean to him, but I really would love to know what Heiko's thought process was on that last play, because that did not look right.
Yeah, and I mean, for the last moments of Heiko's life in this game, he just got Rickied. He tried to skewer down, he tries to play the hero. Without a BKB, it is almost impossible. Even the kill bottom was a misplay from Illich, where he doesn't have the smoke screen down to protect his Lina, to not allow that skewer RP to happen. So it's tough. It's a really great Rickie pick from Thunder Awaken. I think that's probably the most dominating 24 pick I've seen in this tournament so far. It just worked against everything. The lane was like whatever. It still got like a 13-minute Diffusal Blade and a 16-minute Shard, so clearly he wasn't shot out. But then every hero is just feeling less effective because of this Rickie pickup. All of the cores are countered by this hero, and it just works. It's weird. It's different. They have to move the Snapfire mid, which doesn't feel or look good. Lalatroni didn't really have a lot of fun this game. The rest of the lineup kind of just propelled him forward after he got his BKB, but the Rickie was just that good of a pick.
And honestly, I mean, you say he wasn't having fun, and that was true for a lot of that, but if 9, 2, and 17 as a stat line is not having fun for Lalatroni, I would hate to see what it looks like when he actually is having fun. But unfortunately, ET, we come back to the point I was making in the draft. If you're NoRunes, you don't want to look back and say, why were we more afraid of a Death Prophet than Alina? And that's exactly what happened. DP in this lineup, I don't care where you slot it. You would have taken that over letting the Lina through.
Yeah, just works. Like, it's the play of the hero that he has honestly gotten this hero more than any other carry player, I feel like, in Phase 2 so far. I don't know why or how the teams just keep missing the bans on him. Maybe it's, you know, it's some fear. It's some backlog from Illich, the other, you know, pickup from around the world. I don't know. It's tough. It's really difficult to draft versus Thunder Awaken. They just play so many different things. But I think, plain and simple, either you take the Lina, or we see it banned out come game 2 for NoRunes. There's no more options, no more leeway, and you need this win.
Oh yeah, they are very much in need of some points now after dropping the opening game. So we'll see what plans they have. Hopefully it doesn't involve either a pick or a ban for them on Lina, but we shall see. Game 2, just around the corner, folks, so stick around, and we'll be back after the break.